You're listening to the Betoota Advocate's weekly news wrap on Desert Rock FM 96.5.
Welcome back to the Betoota Advocate Weekly Bulletin, recording live here in Budgy Smuggler Studios in downtown Betoota. My name is Clancy Overell, editor of the Betoota Advocate, joined of course by Errol, editor-at-large. Hello, Errol.
Hello, mate.
And Wendell, Hussey. How are you, mate?
Hot, bothered, but otherwise pretty good.
The Curtis Stone of the Betoota Advocate Weekly News Wrap.
Surfing the news. Righto, we'll start off with some national news. And one of our biggest stories this week was an interesting comment from the Prime Minister, who said, if giving the rich tax breaks got us into this mess, it'll get us out of it.
Yes, we are officially in recession for the first time since 1990. But ScoMo's got a plan to get us out of it by providing tax breaks to the extremely wealthy so that they can stimulate our economy and provide the nation's working class with some of this money that they're not paying back to the ATO.
Yeah, it sounds like a bit of a foolproof plan to me. He said, and I quote, if we gave people struggling a bigger tax break, they'd just piss it up the wall on things they don't need, like orange-flavoured chocolates and microwave popcorn. So the government is going to give these rich people a bigger tax break to spend on things like national bank shares and flowers.
Things that really get the economy up and about. And we had a comment on this one from Benjamin Joseph, which could possibly be the most condescending one we've ever had. He said, obviously, if you pay more tax, you are going to benefit more from a cut in the raw dollar terms, albeit a lower cut on a relative basis. Not sure why people never seem to understand simple economics and just complain they aren't rich. Classic tall poppy syndrome that Australians are all too famous for. In bogan terms, 5% discount off an OLED TV is going to be bigger than saving 10% off a McChicken meal. Thumbs up.
Good stuff, Benjamin. You sound like a real fuckwit.
Well, Benjamin, you sound like the kind of bloke who's going to be the first one to be dangling from a streetlight when the fucking purge comes, mate, so watch your back.
And that day is sooner than you think, Benjamin. And another national story now. A link has been established between the inability to shut up after being Prime Minister and easily bruised male egos.
Yes, compiled by the famous Peter Beattie School of Political Sciences down there at the South Betoota Polytechnic College. The report revealed an astounding link between gender and the ability to leave public office to carry on with your life with dignity.
Yes, they said. Think of how Kevin Rudd, Paul Keating, or PJK as the inner city Gen X lefties like to call him, Tony Abbott and Malcolm Turnbull have all been unable to leave public office without firing pot shots and doing whatever they can to get in front of the fucking media. And then compare it to Julia Gillard, who left and is the chair of Beyond Blue, the Global Partnership for Education and the Global Institute for Women's Leadership, working to make the world a better place, and all without coming out and talking shit about Kevin, or Tony, or Malcolm, or anyone else, really.
We'll head down to the Northern Rivers for our next story, and Pete Evans is now blind and suffering carbon monoxide poisoning after refusing to wear a welding mask.
Yes, the famous truther and Channel 7 problem child has bitten off more than he can chew, and now he is without sight. While renovating his new underground bunker in the Tweed Rivers, Pete was easily able to convince himself that he was up to the task of fabricating his bunker door shafts with the white flame of a blowtorch.
And given his opposition to face masks, he's blinded himself and inhaled far too much carbon monoxide for his own good. I tell you what, when you work on a building site and the builder says don't look at the welders, and you look at the welders, you stare deep into that forbidden light, you get hurt.
You certainly do, and this sounds like another crook act from MIG Welding, if you ask me. And we'll move further down south to Victoria, and there was a statement issued, which was in regards to Sam Newman, and that was, would you just shut the fuck up, you stupid old prick, says Nation.
Yes, poor Sam sounds like he's been getting desperate. It's obviously been months since he's been able to shave the carrot in the disabled toilet down at Royal Melbourne, so I guess, my heart goes out to him.
Yes, Sam Newman, former footy show host who can't go a week without trying to grab a headline, was this week calling for people to go out and protest against the restrictions in Victoria because he says it's killing the economy, which he's never really had to worry about ever since he was a graduate at the Geelong Grammar School and went to Timbertop, played AFL for 5 years and then worked for Channel 9 for the rest of his life. He is terrified about the economy, particularly the golf industry.
Yeah.
The golf industry's got him really worried. But yes, the nation has just asked the man, please, just for the sake of everyone's sanity, just shut the fuck up and give it a fucking rest.
And what's bringing up the caboose of this bulletin there, Wendell?
Well, Wham Clothing has sent a cease and desist to the Sun.
Geez, the Aboriginal flag issue is still plaguing the country, I see, with WAM, the non-Indigenous owned company with the rights to the Aboriginal flag, now trying to make the Sun pay up.
Yes, after hitting up the AFL and NRL recently, they've tried to take the Sun to court, saying, "We are also seeking justice for our client in the form of damages for the years 2018, 2019 and 2020. Furthermore, we are also applying for the court to retroactively apply the damages for the previous 4.6 billion years since the Sun was formed."
And the Sun is yet to respond on that one, so we'll just have to wait and see where that ends up. Anyway, that is the end of another weekly Bulletin here on Desert Rock FM or Spotify's Your Daily Drive. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you again in 7 days' time.
Kalispera, everyone, which is Greek for good night.
Hooroo, which is Western Queensland for good night.